Welcome everybody to the second seminar for the IACDS. We are discussing today the UK training model for the concrete contractors. I'd like to introduce myself as Julie White. I was the past president, and at the moment I am the chairman of the Drilling and the Sawing Association, which is the UK association. Let me just tell you a bit about background about the IACDS. The IACDS was actually the very first meeting was in 1994, and then the actual association was founded in 95. We were brought together by an amazing group of people that started cutting concrete from all around the world, probably 50 years ago. And they decided that it would be a great thing for our industry and for the concrete cutters of the world to get together, to actually teach each other, to learn from each other, and to actually make contacts and share all their knowledge. So for me, the IACDS, and hopefully for all the members, it really is a association to share, to share the best practice, to actually bring all the knowledge together as a association, and to actually have a library of all the information together. So we'd like to show you some of the meetings. We do meet in some fantastic places around the world. As you can see, from Poland to Japan, we have met all the way around the world, and these usually have between 7 to, it could be up to 13 different national countries there. As you can see, more meetings. As we said, Dublin to Vienna, and again to Hawaii. As I said, there is the typical members are all around the world, and we actually are bringing the knowledge and the founded people together. So we're trying to actually bring all the knowledge for everyone to know. So what do we do as IACDS? As I said, one big library, that's what we do. And also we have a yearbook every year. We actually have a book that actually shows you how what we do, the best jobs around the world, actually shows all the best suppliers. And then what we do is we usually have a event that we discuss all the different knowledge that we know from around the world, from Bauma to all different events that we meet at. And we usually have a Diamond Award. A Diamond Award is most of the contractors actually come into. They actually show their best jobs. They actually show how best their actually work they've done. And these are then looked at and marked by, again, multi-countries that actually mark, and a winner is found. So it's a very big honour to have a prize for the Diamond Awards with the IACDS. So that's the background of the IACDS, and really now it's over to Joel to give you some online education, which we are trying to these are why these seminars are coming out. So over to you, Joel.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're keeping well. My name is Joel Vinsant, and I'm the Secretary of the Drilling and Sawing Association. The DSA represents diamond drilling contractors, suppliers and manufacturers in the UK. We provide links to training and qualifications, and provide guidance throughout the year on anything that's relevant to drilling and sawing. It might be towards health and safety. It might be some types of guidance towards equipment, for example. We also have an exclusive members online portal where we store a good number of documents. Most of them may be templates, but certainly the guidance documents are on that portal. We like to promote positively about the association, about the industry itself, the specialist sector. We offer advice, expertise advice within the specialist sector to a number of contractors, whether they're in the trade or if it's architects or engineers, for example, who will give us a call about a particular job that can they do it, and how would it be best equipment to be suited for that. Just looking at the agenda then, first of all, we had Julie earlier discussing about the IACDS, fantastic organisation. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank them for all the support they've given us over the years. We have what is the DSA, and in the background as well, why do we do this seminar or webinar, basically. Part 2, we're looking at the importance for contractors to receive training, what the requirements are should be a successful training program. And in part 3, we discuss the UK training model. In part 4, we're going to look at or offer out questions and comments from the participants. Okay, sorry about that. Clicker's not working. First of all, education. Why do we do this seminar or this webinar? Well, I don't know why I keep calling it seminar, because it's a webinar these days, isn't it? Converting to online is quite interesting, and it has its ups and downs, as they say. Online education has been the forefront of how we have been able to keep up with modern times, particularly in the last year with the pandemic. So moving on. So section 2, we're going to look at training itself. Why is it important for contractors to receive training? Well, to start off with, it's a legal and moral obligation to provide safe working environment for the operators we send out to do the jobs. At the same time, receiving training helps learn new skills. It improves efficiency, increases productivity, and of course, at the end of the day, increases profits for the contractor. It improves what we call risk management controls in terms of health and safety, occupational health being quite high on the agenda currently at the moment. Our training program should consist really of the basics, and the basics starting off with, well, what is the aim and objectives of what the candidate will learn or achieve, or both, basically. Aims and objectives is there to give the guidance to the trainer as well in what he has to deliver throughout the program. The content, of course, should be accurate. It should be current and up-to-date equipment, for example, and relevant to the trade, or in this particular for drilling and sawing. The method of a structured delivery for ourselves is classroom and practical. Classroom, when they have to learn about the equipment, what it's capable of, it's what types of jobs it can do, and then we will always insist on a practical to ensure that it's fully understood. At the end of that is some form of testing. That content has been absorbed through a questionnaire and practical ability. We also, at that point in time, offer feedback or receive feedback from the candidate to understand if the course itself has met its objectives. Let's move again. Move twice. So let's look at the history first of all. The history of training, particularly within the industry of the UK. When I came in the industry in 1982, training was pretty much very ad hoc. Learning on the job. Often the case would be put with someone else, so you'd pick up their bad habits, or the communication of learning was very poor. There was certainly no identifiable career path, so no recognized way to improve skills as well, knowledge and understanding. no diamond drilling qualification. And this has been going on for a good number of years in our trade. In 1984, the association was formed, and it was formed, I believe, if I remember correctly from what I've read, by 6 of the largest drilling and sawing contractors in the UK, headed by, and you probably will know this chap, Mr. Peter White of D-Drill, retired now, of course, and he is our president and a past president of the IACDS. So again, I always like to take the opportunity to thank him very much for what he's done for us. Much appreciated. At the same time that year, what was the objective of having an association? To share best practice. So the first thing that was put together was the first edition of the Drilling and Sawing Association's Code of Safe Working Practice. This helped bring on benefits for future members, current and future members, you should say, supports members to ensure safe working practices, and provides guidance. And this code is updated on a regular basis. Our last was in 2020. In 1993, so some 9 years later, the association decided to provide some sort of certificate of competence. It's a scheme that was devised to show that our operators were competent in the work they were carried out. So we started issuing our own competence certificate and card prior to any qualifications that existed. These cards were designed to indicate the operator's skill set. The operators tested by practical and knowledge set carried out by an association approved assessor. In 2000, though, at last came some recognition regarding the qualifications. So we supported the development and implication of the first Drilling and Sawing National Vocational Qualification, NVQ, supported by the industry. Fantastic achievement for the specialist sector. This is an example of what the past and still the current, what we call rules of combination. This is the units that take place to get the qualification. So if you can see that the units are designed around the equipment that we operate. It also has mandatory units like Unit 360, establishing work area protection. There's about productive working practices, about moving and handling and storing, and health and safety. They are vitally important to be able to drill a hole as such, or form a saw cut. On the right-hand side, you'll notice the endorsements. So each of the unit is tested or assessed against the tools themselves. Further on from that, types of work that isn't a generally day-to-day, we have additional units, which is bursting, crushing and breaking, and wire sawing. So that allows for the development of the operators to move into further parts of the qualification that previously wasn't available. In 2004, supported by the development of the Drilling and Sawing Apprenticeship Scheme. Very first specialist sector scheme, supported and co-funded by the Construction Industry Training Board. And this was a major achievement. Took well over 12 months to develop. Obviously not continuous, but on various meetings throughout 12 months. It was designed as a 2-year program covering all drilling and sawing activities. The CITB has been our main hub of support. Can't thank them enough for what they've done for us. For those who are new to the CITB, they are allowed for companies to register and pay an annual levy. This levy is then used to encourage training and qualify staff through grants available for each individuals or companies. In 2007, by this time, the apprenticeship scheme had been undergone for about 2 years or so. I was asked to put together a training resource package for the specialist concrete operations in drilling and sawing, and it's I believe it's 169 pages, something like that. So that's that went down fairly well. It gave the opportunity for companies to provide in-house training and with a formal method in place. Moving on to 2018, continuing on with training, the DSA became an approved training organisation that was created by the CITB. So every industry had the opportunity to sign up to provide organised training to meet a standard, and within that agreed standard was a grant available for each course. So that went down, of course, very well. Moving on, just a bit more about that. This has continued, obviously, to a steady pathway, produce standards for the delivery of modular courses linked to any monetary funding through the CITB. So in 2021, we worked it out that we now have in place 23 specialist training courses and qualification ranging from a level 2 to a level 7. This is obviously about our timeline so far. Now, there is first of all, a promotional video I'd like to play on what we have in place currently at the moment.
From the Drilling and Sawing Association comes a brand new series of informative DVDs as an introduction to diamond drilling and sawing. The series includes diamond drilling, floor sawing, hand sawing, including chainsaws, ring saws and power cutters, wire sawing, track sawing, and controlled demolition, including bursting, crushing and robotic demolition. These DVDs cover the basic components, capabilities, applications, techniques, and safety requirements, and are available to purchase now. For prices and to order your copies, contact the Drilling and Sawing Association.
Thank you. That was just a taster of some of the videos that we've produced a few years back ago now, and that was supported by the contractors, supply manufacturers at the time. So that was very well recognized by the industry as a useful tool in promoting our industry. So let's move now to the training models and the methods that we use, basically. 2 different training models available. The individual training courses, such as the, like I said earlier about the approved training organization, it is subject matter. For example, might be a course on diamond tip blades. There's a range of certificates available from awareness to attendance, to training and to competence. Each certificate type has a different training expiration date, therefore may require refresher training or courses. The upskilling for this training on a new piece of equipment or equipment not previously operated. So the benefit of this individual training courses is that the operator can continue to develop themselves throughout their career to keep adding into their portfolio the type of equipment they can use. For the manufacturer, though, there's a benefit that they can keep upskilling the operators to use their pieces of equipment safely, correctly, with as less maintenance as possible, or less breakdowns as possible, I should say, by teaching about the equipment and how it's been used. The other route, or other model, I should say, is the apprenticeship training. We now have looked at that, and it's now delivered across 18-month period instead of 2 years or 24 months. This was due to feedback from the employers that requested that we try and reduce the time so that they could get the operators qualified as early as possible, or earlier than two years anyway. Training courses are structured to work towards completing qualification. They work hand in hand together. They cover both theory and practical training that's provided. It then links them to the qualification, and each of the units within the qualification has both a theory section or underpinning knowledge and the practical abilities, where an assessor will visit site and gather evidence of their capabilities. The theory work is undertaken through an online portal now. Just before COVID came along, we went live with our online portal. So all the theory work, again supported by the manufacturers and suppliers, we had in place the online training portal, linking each operator, employer, assessor, and any other necessary staff to the availability of this portal, which worked very well. Well, still working very well, I should say. So e-learning. E-learning was fairly new to us. We are very much a hands-on industry. So converting to e-learning, as we know, is a method of teaching that candidates can access 24/7 to a preloaded system containing all the theory work and questions required to complete their training. It reduced the amount of time sitting in the classroom, because they would, as such, come to the center pretty much preloaded with the knowledge of that piece of equipment. In the e-learning section, of course, is various training videos. These are in modular format. So, for example, in diamond drilling, it will cover the core bit, the motor, the rig itself, the different types of rigs, and we've also covered various manufacturers' equipment, along with any maintenance and troubleshooting sections as well. Linked to that is the operators' manuals supplied by the manufacturers and any guidance documents provided by the association. The e-learning platform courses contain videos to provide underpinning knowledge for each tool. Each course outlines the roles and responsibility of the operator, preparing for the work, any pre-start checks required, the actual working task, the operational side of it, and any shutting down procedures with that equipment. Each module will be completed with a set of questions to ensure that the learner has gained the knowledge around the module. So this slide will show you an example of this is floor sawing. It's just a very short video on the training of a floor saw. So that was just a small example or short example of a snippet from one of the training modules within floor soil. And in that particular instance, it was Tirlit with their 3-phase floor soil. The support that from the manufacturers was absolutely brilliant. So I'd like to thank Hilti, Husqvarna, Pentruder, and Hilti for their time that it took to put together, which was generally about a day or two per module. Let's move on to qualifications awarding bodies. Well, the fact is that we've now got training in place, we've got a qualification in place, we also need it recognised. Now, the recognition is through an awarding body. In this particular instance, it's the National Open College Network, one of the largest in the world. And you can see from the certificate, it fully explains that that person has achieved the following qualification in specialist concrete occupations, which is concrete, drilling and sawing. First of all, let's explain a little bit what a qualification is, just in case. These are recognized as a national occupational standard achievement by the individual through providing both underpinning knowledge and practical assessments. The qualification provides evidence to employers and clients that the standard has been achieved and the work will be carried out to a good high standard. The awarding body, National Occupational Standards, are standards of performance individuals must achieve when carrying out functions in the workplace, together with any specifications of the underpinning knowledge and the understanding of how the machine, in this instance, may work. These standards are developed alongside the support of industry experts across the UK. So if we go back to the year 2000, when the first qualification came through, we had a number of industry experts around the table to support the development of the standard, of the qualification. As I said about the National Occupational Network, is one of the largest awarding organisations worldwide. Changes in the educational system currently in the UK, with the adoption of any technical awards and the Trailblazer scheme, stand linked to funding streams. For those of you that are unaware of the Trailblazer, for example, this is based on 45 days per year off-site learning about the equipment, and it's a 3-year program. The benefits of qualification, well, for the employee, well, it's pride, isn't it? It's a career pathway for them. It's recognition of their hard work and their achievement. It also provides that they are better employable by different companies. For the employer, it meets their legal obligations. It supports the allocation of any given task and improves client confidence within the operator. For the client, it's assurance that the company that sends out the operator can carry out his work to a standard and in a safe and productive manner. What are the routes to qualification? 3 basic routes. If we have a look at this, I think the next slide shows us, first of all, the apprenticeship scheme overview. These are designed for new entrants, generally within the first 6 months of their employment, with little or no construction background. It's an 18-month program. Currently, it's 21 days off-site training, the continual on-site training carried out by the employer, on-site assessment of equipment when it has been identified that the operator is meeting the standard. On top of the 21 days off-site, there is also the continuation with the current platform that we use for e-learning, so we add that into it as well. For the assessment, the portfolio consists of a range of evidence from knowledge, skills, and experience to put together towards a qualification. So prior to attending any off-site training days, the completion of a series of videos takes place by the individual, and the questions that come with the videos have been completed, and the assessor and the employer can observe that from the portal themselves. Then we have 2 days in practical training, so the apprentices attend the training centre to use the tools after a demonstration that's been carried out by the experienced tutor. Bearing in mind that these apprentices that came have already had their knowledge section completed with online, through the online portal. On-site training continues on. The apprentices are supervised by a qualified operative from the employer to gain experience and hone their practical skills. After that, when everyone is convinced that that person, that operator is ready, an on-site assessment will take place, completing their qualification and their apprenticeship scheme. This is an example of some of the practical training in testing that we carry out. It's a document that we use for the qualified trainer will use to assess the candidate on the criteria shown here. As you can see from there, the tasks are preset, and we tick it off if that's been acceptable, or do we require more training for the individual. It may be that it's just knowledge that needs to be reinstilled into the individual. The second route, the route to qualification, is on-site assessment and training, and this is where the individual has learnt on the job, maybe supported by the employer, the supervisor, or another qualified drilling sawing operative. So they're learning on the job. They don't at this particular time have a qualification, but they're working towards it. So they will be given a trainee card, for example. Duration is flexible. That's the important bit about this. Anything from 6 months to 3 years, the assessments can take place. The delivery is done by the assessor, who visits sites on arranged dates to collect evidence to meet the standard. And this is done through video evidence and reporting from the assessor. The assessment then is put together, completed through a collection of evidence, knowledge, and practical skills, and signed off for the qualification. Third route is the experienced worker route. This is a route that's been in for a good few years now, and it's where operators have not got a qualification, but have proven to been in the industry for over 2 years with site work. The duration will depend between 1 and 2 days on equipment that needs assessing, the number of pieces of equipment that needs assessing. It is delivered off-site in a simulated-based environment. The activities are exactly the same as on-site. It is observed, and furthermore, to back this up, the recorded discussions undertaken between the operator and the assessor, and the employer provides an endorsement for the individual and witness testimonies. The assessment, observation of collected evidence of knowledge, skills, and experience. So we've got a qualification. What do we do now? Well, we basically, do we take our paper copy of our qualification around to us with each site? No. We have a recognised card scheme, and this is the system that we use and has worked very well for a good number of years. The Drilling Sawing Association is linked and affiliated in partnership with the CSCS Construction Skills Certification Scheme, recognised throughout the UK. It provides proof of any individuals working on construction sites that have the appropriate training and or qualifications for their on-site job role. It can restrict access if the wrong card is or the wrong part of the job that is taking place is not on their card. It does use smart technology through biometric systems. So we're seeing on site more and more now where cards actually go before the or information of the card goes before the operator and used through biometric systems. Sometimes on site, you actually will use fingerprint technology as well to gain access. Here's the type of cards that we currently offer. As you can see, the trainee card, this is given automatically to any apprentices or those working towards their qualification. On the left-hand side at the bottom, you'll see a wonderful picture of myself there. It always has to be a guinea pig, don't it? This is the skill card, and it shows that the operator has a drilling and sawing qualification. On the left-hand side is for our remote control plant. This is the skilled card. Again, you can get a trainee card, but the skilled card for, we call it the 360 pedestrian operated, for crushing, braking, and the use of a bucket. So 3 different attachments on the remote control plant. So we have the option for both particular qualifications. So what career path does the training model follow? Very important question. We've just gone through level 2, the concrete occupations, drilling and sawing, its roots, how we get there in the end. Well, once qualified there, what is the next stage? Well, a pathway is for level 3, occupational work supervisory. This is where now the operator is starting to look after several other operatives on site or other labor, and he's in control of their tasks that they are carrying out. Moving on from level 3 well, we won't miss the managers out, of course. There's a level 6, construction contracting management. All managers should have see access to a level 6 qualification. And finally, level 7, senior management. So you can now see the career pathway that is in place. Some 20 years ago, this was never even considered, but anyone coming into the industry now has this pathway, has this potentially long career within our industry, which is fantastic news. And that is me covered. Thank you for listening.